Of course.
So yeah.
Right.
Don't worry, you'll see that everything is being recorded from this moment. Okay. So yeah.
Hello, any calls? Ja, ik zoek als je die voor elkaar sturen, waar je dat zag dat die caller is, want dan ga ik het even in die future team groep zetten.
Sorry?
Oh, gewoon dan, oké, dat is goed.
Okay. Okay, so I see a great suggestion so that we could do a small round of introductions at the moment.
Okay.
So of our speakers that are present, and so that they could tell a bit themselves what they do and what they're going to talk about today. So,
right.
So I think our moderator can take the lead from now on and tell a little bit.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay. So I'm Dr. Mary Jane Weja from Nigeria. I am a medical doctor, like I said, and a public health practitioner for over 2 years. So I'm going to start introducing our speakers. I'm not sure who is online. Okay, I'll just go with those that I think. Okay, Lana is not here yet. Who else is here? Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce your name correctly, but Moana, could you please introduce yourself? Okay,
so
Did you say Marino?
No, I said Moana. I think.
Oh, okay.
Moana. Yes. But her mic is off.
Hello.
Okay, Marino, you can introduce yourself because I think she has a problem with her mic.
Okay. So I'm Marino Jackson from Suriname, and I am here working on different projects regarding youth development, and I'm also the co-founder of my own NGO. It's called ACNOW Foundation, where we inspire like citizens from Suriname to take action. It doesn't matter if it's big or small, but that we just play our part in contributing to our community. I've participated at the World Festival of Youth and Students in 2017 in Sochi, and I was also in 2018 able to participate at the post meeting in Moscow from the future team. So I will be talking about the situation here in Suriname, how many cases we have, what the measurements have been taken by our government, and also how people feel, and also how I think we should move forward. Yes, so that's it. Thank you, Mary Jane.
Right. Okay. Thank you. That's great. Okay. Do we have Gabriel from Tanzania? Is he here? Okay, Moa, is your mic working now? Okay. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you quite well.
Okay, great. Okay, please can the hosts unmute the mic of the speakers so they can introduce themselves. Thank you.
Yeah. I think that they are unmuted, so they can speak.
Okay.
Please
Okay.
try to say something.
Moana, are you there?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
Okay.
Is Zoo with us? Zoo Hanrui, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Hi.
That's you. Oh, okay.
Hello.
All right, great.
Can you hear me now? Gabriel from Tanzania.
Yeah.
My audio.
Okay.
Yeah, so I should continue with the introductions, right?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, so Pripyat. My name is Katsan Gabriel. I'm from East Africa, Tanzania. For those who don't know where Tanzania is, it's where they shot the Lion King. So Hakuna Matata and all that.
Right.
I was a delegate of the World Fest, WFF West in 2017. I also participated in 2018 Future Team Post meeting. I'm an activist back home. I also work with civil society, pushing for the youth agenda to be more widespread and sustainable. And I'll be speaking from an African perspective, from an East African perspective, from a Tanzanian perspective, and as a youth perspective generally in the world who is undergoing this pandemic. So looking forward to a great conversation. Nice to engage with you all.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so that's my turn.
Your mic is on now.
All right. Okay, you can just call me by my name written there. That is Ruthie. Probably it would be easier
Ruthie.
for pronunciation. Okay.
Right. Okay.
My name in Chinese is Xu Hanrui, and it's really complicated for foreigners. I understand that. Okay, my name is Ruthie, and I'm 21 years old. I'm a student in China, and my major is Russian. So last year I was in Sochi, and I participated in the forum, and that was organized by Future Team, right? And that is where I got to know you guys and got to know Lada, and it's my great honor to be here and just give a brief introduction of what happened in China, because I believe we have been and still is in the center of the whole epidemic situation.
Right.
And right. And I wish that I can provide you some kind of information that as a person who just lived and see through all of the things, and I will try my best to just give a brief some information about the things here in China.
Right. Okay, thank you very much. Do we have Kamola with us?
Yes, I'm here. Hello everyone. Okay. My name is Kamola.
Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Hi. I'm from Uzbekistan. I'm 21 years old. I'm a third-year student of Medical Institute. My faculty is dentistry. I'm a volunteer of Initiative Group Time of Miracles and coordinator of the medical volunteers in Tashkent, which was organized 2 years ago. I want to tell you about the current epidemiological situation in Uzbekistan. I have prepared a presentation to show what's happening here. That's all.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Is Lana with us now? Okay. Moana is back. Okay. Could you please unmute Moana so she can introduce herself? Just hold on. They're working on it.
Yeah, just a second. It's
Yeah.
unbelievably difficult. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think that everything is back to
Can you
normal.
hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you finally.
Finally.
Yeah.
My name is Muna. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Morocco. Currently, I'm a medical student in Russian Federation in general medicine.
Okay.
For guys from Russia, I'm in Tambovskaya Oblast. So I'm here today to share our experiences about this epidemic in Morocco, and also we want to learn from others' experiences and others' countries' strategies, and we really want to learn from, like, as youth activists, how we can deal with this and how we can help.
Right. Okay, thank you. So Lana, are you with us? I think we'll just move forward. I don't know. I think maybe there's an issue with the internet connection in Sudan, like she mentioned. Okay, welcome everyone. We welcome our speakers. We welcome our audience. I just want to commend the Future team for even considering, this initiative and really just adapting to the changes that we've had to face, how conferences and education and things have moved online. Who's that? Okay.
Ja, ik kom 9:30. Ik had Amar gemeld.
I'm not sure who that is.
Maar voor vandaag niet, hè? Ik heb Amar gaat schakelen. Ik heb hem gesproken. Oh ja.
Okay. Okay, so I'm moving. So I think, I don't know how your experiences are in your different countries, but I would just want to commend the youth in my country, in Nigeria, because they have taken so much, initiative, and they're doing so much as much as they can, really, to spread the word and really just curb the spread of this disease. So I'm going to start with I think Ruthie. I'll start with Ruthie because she's from China. I think she'll be able to give us first-hand experience or details about the epidemic or pandemic now. So Ruthie, could you just give us your thoughts so far?
All right. Right. Okay. And okay, so I'll be the first speaker. All right. I just made a brief presentation, and right now I'm gonna share my screen. Okay.
Okay, great.
All right. So you can right now see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So basically, first is like a basic introduction of what's happening in China. And you can just look at the map. I just got a Chinese map. And oh my God, I forgot to block this okay, the first one is here, that is Hubei. Here, this place, this province is Hubei, and this is Wuhan, the center of the epidemic. And here, that is my university. I study Russian here, and here's where I live. I live is here, and this is Beijing. This one, that is Beijing. So it's like right now I'm here, and this is Hubei. So we have been blocked down the Wuhan city in January 23rd, and it will be reopened in the 8th of April. So basically it's about 2.5 months that the city is blocked. And the Spring Festival is on the 24th of January, but The Spring Festival is just like the New Year, and it's the most important festival of China, and that is making it very hard to contain this epidemic, because people, during those festivals, they like to travel around and see families, friends, and just before we closed the city, and about 5 million people from Wuhan just got out of this place. So it's like we don't know who is like getting infected and who infect other people. So in the end, we had to shut the whole country down. And so from the 24th of January, and it's been suggested, and in the end been forbidden, to gather, not even family gathering. We just we are not going anywhere, and we just stayed at home for the most important festival in China. And there's no public events, and there's no public transportations. And it just 2 days ago it's reopened in my city. And the things in my city is not very serious, but we are very near to Beijing, so we are still under very strict control of everything. And the measures we have taken is that if you want to go out, you want to go to the bakeries or the supermarket, and they will take your temperature every time you go into some place. And you also have to sign your name. Okay, I just mute all the information I get from here because they keep talking. All right, so we have to sign our names as well. It's like who's come in here and who's out. So it's like every information has been written on the paper. And just because of the we call that quarantine, right? Am I pronouncing this word right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
quarantine.
You're fine.
And it's every 2 days, one member of each family is allowed to go out. And it's like we can only go out for food, and that only one member of each family every 2 days. So that is basically cutting off everything we have here. And so what my family has done is that on the 25th of January, we bought the things and all the food for 1 week. And the whole week we just stayed at home. And in the end, it's like 2 weeks we didn't go out. And so we have to cut our meals into 2 meals a day, not 3, because we don't have so much food. It's not because we applied. It's not because we cannot buy them. It's because it's not safe to go outside. And even they deliver the things to your home, and you still, you have to go outside to pick it. So we just try to not going out as less as possible. And also for me, I'm a student, and so the monitors of the university, they let us fill the form every day. It's like, are you having a fever, or are you feeling bad, or like psychological and physical. So we have to report what's happening to our health every day. Okay, so only one exit of each neighborhood is open, right? Because for our neighborhood that is open one, there are many exits, but right now only one is open, and everybody has to go through that exit.
Through that one,
right?
Okay.
And what we were encouraged to do is to. Okay,
but,
do I have to pause here?
So, but I mean, I want to ask you some specific questions.
Sure.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Could you?
No, you said you want to ask some specific questions.
Right. Okay. Yes. Can you just tell me really about the situation? I mean, with regards to the epidemiology. That's with regards to the spread. I know that it has been what we know. I mean, with the news that we see from WHO is that the cases have reduced. In general.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can throw more light on that.
Sure, I'll prepare this.
Okay.
Okay, that is this picture is from the very beginning.
Okay.
It's like the darker the color is, and the more patient they get from there. So this is Hubei, and all those places, it's like getting more infected people. And this is from the very beginning. This is the beginning, and this is what is now. It's like it's very obvious that it's getting better, right? It's getting a lighter the colors.
Right.
And right, and actually we wouldn't be having so much patients just in China, because recently since the epidemic, and there are some people who just overseas students, and they were coming back, and some of them they were getting infected as well. So the numbers are here, and that is the total number. That is 82,599. That is all those people getting infected in China. And this is what is remaining now, only 3,048. And this number, 76,237, they are the people who have been recovered. And this is dead. And this is from abroad, 771. And this number, 528, they are the serious people who, we do have the light diagnosis and serious diagnosis, right? That's how we call it.
Yes, we do. yes, I do.
All right. So these are the factors of what's happening here. And I just got those two pictures to show comparisons.
Okay.
So
that's
I
very
believe
clear.
China has got a, I can say that it's like really successful control of the epidemic. And right now we can go out whenever we want, and we can just eat in the restaurant is already fine. And in the beginning, they only deliver to our homes, but right now we can just eat in the restaurant, and we can go out.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, that's great.
So those two numbers, they are the things remaining. This is a remaining, and this is a total number. So, okay.
Okay, so but what role, obviously we can all see that the cases have reduced, significantly in China. Can you say that youth volunteers or activists had a significant role to play in this regard?
Yeah. For me, I'm a student and I study Russian. So there's very little things that we can do. And what we have done is that for me as a translator, we have gathered materials all over the globe. And I think you have all heard the news that Chinese overseas students, they have bought all of the masks and glasses and all those customs and sent them back to China. That's true. I was part of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. And really?
We were translating all those from different languages. Is that which masks can be bought and which cannot. And we have been contacting the factories in Russia and then America and other countries as well. We buy whatever we can from their countries. Right. And
okay, that's good.
That is for me. And what else is like a doctor, nurses. We were. It's like all those the best doctors and nurses, they have gathered from all over China to Wuhan. And we also built, I think, they are not volunteers. Okay, who are volunteers? Okay, local citizens.
Okay.
Is that some of them they drive doctors and nurses to work and send them back. It's because the city is locked and no public transportation is allowed. So it's like the local citizens, all those volunteers, they would for free drive the doctors to work and drive them back. And,
wow, that's brilliant.
And we also have a few psychologists and guards and community workers, and they were all trying to
Okay. So,
comfort
but
people.
in your opinion, do you think something else can be done?
Well, I'm not a medical student, so I think in China we've done pretty well. I don't know what else could have been done.
Okay. Well, that's very good. Okay.
It's
That's
because we
brilliant
are not
because most
professional
people tend to
people.
ignore, you know, the mental health aspect of this of the outbreak. So that's very good, you know, comforting people.
Yeah, and we also have some professional lawyers because when the city is shut down, there are some businesses who don't have customers and they cannot just go
Mm-hmm.
on opening their business. And we have lawyers to deal with the conflict between the employees and the employers.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ruthie.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for that. All right. So I would like to ask Moreno Jackson. Are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can everyone hear me clearly?
I, yes.
Yes?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so I will give a short update on the situation, the COVID situation here in Suriname. Let me start by telling you guys where Suriname is. We are located in South America, just northeast from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So we are between French Guyana and also Guyana.
Okay.
So that you have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
We reported our first case on March 13th, and until now we have 8 positive
Michael?
cases of persons
Yeah.
tested with the COVID-19. Luckily we have zero casualties, so that's good. The measurements that were taken by the government is that since we received our first positive case, that there were strict measures
Mm-hmm.
that the borders were closed, so all the airlines could not fly out. It was a real hectic situation here because people needed to leave like the next day and they couldn't get their flight. So some persons are still here. We still have people from Trinidad here, and they can't get home until their government sends them
Mm-hmm.
a special kind of flight. So they're still waiting.
Right.
And since last Saturday, we also have a partial lockdown. So after 8 p.m., no one is allowed to be in the streets until 6 a.m. And that is
Wow.
more because
Mm-hmm.
at night people were still organizing parties and not taking it very serious. Um, but even though we have the
Okay.
lockdown, people are still in the streets. Some places, and then we have the police driving through the streets, and having people spend the night at the police stations so they can become more aware of it. The most
Okay.
I think 90% or 95%. Oh, I think 90% of our citizens, they really know why it's important to stay inside, and they are following instructions as given by our government. But you still have like some 10% which are not believing in COVID-19, and they're saying that it's not their fault, and they're just in the streets.
Yeah.
They've closed down streets, put some tires there that no one's coming there. So it's still a little bit hectic in some neighborhoods, but I think they will be catching up. And the measurements taken by youth in our
Mm-hmm.
country here, like activists, there's not a lot that can be done in a physical order, because you also have to keep in account the physical distancing, everything.
Right.
So
Right.
we see a lot of youth here in our country organizing also similar online sessions to talk about it, doing hashtag campaigns to get more awareness out, making short videos.
Oh, that's
But we
brilliant.
also have a group here, like an NGO. It's called Rotaract, and they are planning on doing this project where they will be
Mm-hmm.
um, providing food for the medical care workers and the emergency workers. So they will be cooking each day for approximately 50 or 100 workers. And they will be bringing
Mm-hmm.
the food to a central location, and the food will be picked up by someone from the disaster management team. So that's a project that's really taking off here.
Mm-hmm.
um, and in
Oh,
my
that's
opinion, what
brilliant.
needs to be done from this, yes, from this moment on, I think that it's very important to for Suriname, especially, that we keep in account the instructions by the government. We're still on lockdown here at night, but during the day you
Mm-hmm.
have this limit of 10 persons that can be at one location. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
still gives the chances of the spreading, but still it's not that much. So we have to just keep in account the advice given by the official authorities. And I believe that
Mm-hmm.
the world, we really need to search for or research further for a vaccine, because I do not believe that the COVID-19 will just disappear. It will be here for, like, it will be just one of the
Rightly so.
diseases out here. So yeah, so even if everyone would almost everyone would, we would like decrease it. If someone would get it again, or two-person, then we could get this spreading again. So I think that on a sustainable long
Mm-hmm.
term, we should really research and find some medicine for this, so we can move forward. Yes, so that's it for my part.
Okay, thank you, Jackson. Thank you so much for contributing and telling us what's going on in your area. Just the notes, Ruthie. I want you to note the questions. People are asking questions on the comment section, so please note the questions. So when
Yes.
we are done, you can answer them. Jackson as well.
Sure.
Please just note if they ask
Okay.
specific questions to you. Yes, thank you. Um, I'm a medical doctor, so when we're done, I would give more insight on the issue with the medication and the vaccine, like you mentioned. So the next person that will be talking to us is Gabriel from Tanzania. Gabriel, are you here with us?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So I'll attempt to be as honest as possible. Just a little background. Tanzania has a population of
Yes.
almost 60 million people, and it is a developing country. These are very important factors when you deal with any pandemic. We have tropical diseases like malaria, which are really similar when it comes to symptoms as the COVID-19. And our first case was in 20th of March, and thus far we have 19 cases. And sadly enough, this morning we just confirmed our first death. So that's a little bit scary, but we're moving on strong. Some measures that have been taken by the government, I might say, honestly, it's very limited because the government limited some sort of travel, but we do not have a plan as of yet. And another thing is that we have tried to install proper etiquette for washing your hands and raise awareness to the people and the importance of cleaning and staying safe. And we have preached theoretical social distancing that's not very practical. So that's also an issue that we face. So the government is doing its limited best, I can say. With the general feelings of the people is that people really don't care. That's honest. I'm not going to shadow coat it with any sugar, but people don't care because with the government, there hasn't been a good policy or a rhetoric to reach out to the people on the fatality of COVID-19. And that is, yeah, and that has been a real problem because when you want to reach people, you want to reach certain demographics, you have to speak relevantly to their language. So we haven't localized the context that it is relatable to the normal person who constitute majority of the population. That's why still people for one day follow a trend like I'll wear a mask or I'll wash my hands, but after 2 days people are commuting like normal. And another issue is that being a developing country, it means we are an agrarian society. You need to commute so as to, you know, make a living.
Right.
But I will say, yeah, I will do the other East African perspective. Kenya is on a lockdown. They have 60 cases. Rwanda is also on a lockdown. And what their government has done is that they bring food to the people. And Uganda is on a lockdown as well, which means there has been a lot of police enforcement to put people inside by force. And I think that has helped inside. But for us in Tanzania, you know, let me say we're getting there, so I'm getting much trouble. Just to say, measures taken by youth activists. I can say I'm an activist myself, so I've been really trying to vocalize the true end of the activity of what COVID-19 is. COVID-19 is a pandemic, and it's a fatality. It's a pandemic that faces us youth. It is our first pandemic that we need to battle. What we have done is that a lot of young people have been volunteering themselves to raise awareness, you know, localizing the context, as I said, in local languages and reaching out to the marginalized groups who might not well understand what COVID-19 is because, you know, the education system did not privilege them. So another thing what we have done is we see that a lot of the young people are volunteering food, they're volunteering as well as providing cleanliness etiquette to people and things. And maybe myself and my organization, we are part of the future team, and we are running a youth against the COVID-19 coronavirus campaign, which first has to fight with all the misinformation about this virus. And another thing, raising the awareness on what it really means to be affected by the virus. Another thing is that in Uganda, we see students doing the same thing where they provide the basic needs to the marginalized groups by collecting themselves and giving them food, shelter, and everything, because, you know, you gotta take care of the poor. And we can't say we want to flatten the curve if we still have to battle other diseases like malnutrition and as well as malaria, to mention a few. So that's something that we have done. And in my opinion, what should be done next? I think what should be done next is having a lockdown, but locking down in a context that you understand you're from a developing poor country. So we need to mobilize resources, we need to mobilize expertise. And another thing, the most important thing is we need to mobilize knowledge to all the people so that they are aware with the fertility and actually how big this thing is. And secondly is the meaning of social distance, because we have to be selfless. And as young people, we have a moral and ethical stance to help flatten the curve, because you might be asymptomatic, but you can affect someone else. So we should be the ones to push the button for this and do social distance as much as we can. But we should enforce a lockdown so that we can control the population from commuting, because that is the only selfless way that can make sense for now. And as young people, we should unionize as such and continue to raise our voices, show people how they can create prosperity in the digital arena, in the digital spaces, so that life should continue. It might be shaken, but, you know, we still got this. So those are my comments. Any questions?
No, doctor,
You.
your microphone is mute.
Still mute.
Where's Lada?
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, this is one of the problems with you know, online communities and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Gabriel. Yes. Okay, also, please take note of the questions that are being asked specifically to each of the presenters in the comment section. We'll move, yes, thank you, to Kamola. Are you with us?
Your mic is mute.
Kamola, are you with us? Okay.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
yes, I'm here.
Just hang in there, working on it. Oh, great. Hi.
I said I will just like leave the mood and um, share my presentation.
Right.
I thought that
course.
we are going to introduce ourselves at the beginning. As I said, I'm a volunteer of initiative group and a big family, Time of Miracles. Here are some photos, and I'm coordinator of medical volunteers. So today there are 158 coronavirus positive patients in Uzbekistan. The group of infected peoples is shown in a table. A large of number of infected are aged from 20 to 40 years. And as you can see, more infected are women. Here is a man.
Yeah.
Time, 2 cases of deaths due to coronavirus were registered, and 7 patients was recovered fully and went home. From the diseased peoples, 2 of them relatively serious condition, 3 of them grave condition, and 20 of them has a pneumonia. Since the first day of the registered case, our state has taken measures of quarantine. All universities, schools, and kindergartens were closed immediately. All mass events were cancelled. Public transport operated until 23rd March and was disinfected every 4 hours. Also created a call center for issues related to coronavirus, organized charter flights for returning Uzbek citizens from abroad. Soon they closed all public places, canceled weddings, and suspended international passenger flights and airports until 20th April.
Right.
Wow.
The borders of Tashkent and many other regions are also closed for any type of transport. Our scientists have developed their own diagnostic tests to determine COVID-19.
Hang on.
Since
Excuse me, sweetie. Your screen. I can't see it. Can we all see her screen? Ruthie, please, can you see her screen?
No.
Me either. I can't see her screen.
oh,
No. Okay. Okay, please, could you? Yes. Yeah.
Could you just please check again?
1 minute.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, great. All right. All right. Okay.
We've gone so far. Already 10 slides past.
Yes, there was a table about the rate of infection in our country, and here is the age and number of infected COVID-19 in Uzbekistan as of 24th March. As you can see, there is a 20 to 40 age people are infected more, and here is that it's more women are infected than men's.
Okay.
Here is a diagram which explains the deaths and recovered persons.
Oh, okay.
It's what was making in our country. I was explaining about it. And as I said, since yesterday, the use of personal wireless and taxis is forbidden in our country. Only ambulances, delivery service, petrol, doctors, pharmacists, and large volunteer organizations can drive, and they need to have a special sticker to drive the car.
Right. Okay. That's brilliant.
This slide shows how the roads were lowered without cars on the street.
Okay. I want to see that.
Patrol officers notify how to lead in case of COVID and precautionary measures. The Ministry of Health declares every infected person every day. So there speaks about the precautionary measures, and our volunteers and government made a number of banners and videos which were explaining the situation with the quarantine, about the measures and about the hygiene rules. For doctors and medical personnel working in the quarantine zone, the state makes allowances to their salary now. As you can see here, our population just tries to take care of themselves. Almost about 98% on the street goes on masks, wear gloves, and go out when it's necessary, but not always keeping a distance in the food shops, you know. Of course, and not without a small percentage of population that appears without masks. In this case, the state provides for fines and criminal liabilities in case of non-compliance with the rules of quarantine. And today I have read the news that much less people appearing without masks. What measures are taken by youth activity volunteers? The state and volunteers, they're helping families who don't have money to buy hygiene items because they are too, you know, it costs very much, I think, today.
Wow. Yes, it does.
Currently, about 20 volunteer organizations helping the population deliver food for war veterans, people in old age who are unable to leave, low income peoples, disabled people, large families, and so on. About all volunteers organizations, there is information anywhere in a public domain. There is a list of these organizations that help the population throughout Uzbekistan. What about medical volunteers? We already help in special cases when needed in hospital. Since yesterday, the state has been recruiting willing doctors and medical staff to work inside the quarantine due to the growing viruses are not taken to health because of the danger of this disease. We have trained and trained our volunteers in first aid situation at this moment. In the meantime, I'm just working on a new project with Health Union. We are creating a call center of medical volunteers. We will take orders and deliver free essential food, free medicines, hygiene products, all needed. People just need to call us. That's all. Our work is supposed to start on Monday, but because of some circumstances, because of installation of programs, we are planning to start our work from tomorrow. And we are making everything to take care of our volunteers. We just organize cars, pick up them from their homes and back safely, and organize protective requirements for each volunteer. For example, masks, respirators, helmets, gloves, antiseptics, and others. That's all
Okay. Wow.
As you can see me, I just think that our country, our government, our doctors, police, and every volunteer is making everything to help people and just defeat the virus. If everyone, every citizen will observe the precautionary of the measures and the rules of quarantine, I think soon we will pass it all.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Kamola. Please take note of questions if there are any in the comment section. So our next speaker will be Muna from Morocco. Muna, can you hear us? Are you here with us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hear me?
Uh,
Yeah.
We
Can
can hear you.
anyone
Great.
hear me?
So,
It's like
yes. So the current situation now in Morocco, like this epidemic, it's, as we all know,
yes,
it's
I
a
can hear you now.
challenging situation for all countries, not just for fragile ones. So as we are speaking, the cases in Morocco are 574, with 33 deaths and 15 recovered. The country is in a total quarantine till 20th of April, with April. People are locked down homes. You can't get out. Just if you have an authorization for soldiers and like people who are like their work, it's so important. So students are studying online. All exams are postponed, and for the situation, so Morocco is one of the countries following the strategy of World Health Organization to scale up preparedness and response to COVID-19, reduce avoidable deaths and illness, and ensure tailored access to health measures against the outbreak by action supporting national readiness and preparedness. Like as we all see for strategy of World Health Organization, it's based in 8 pillars. So the country level coordination with planning and monitoring, risk communication and community engagement, which is so important. Surveillance of epidemiologic investigation, rapid response and cases investigation, points of entry, national laboratories, and infection prevention and control. So for the government, I think my video is not working. I think. Okay. So the country applied a voluntary quarantine and isolation. I think my video is not working, right? Okay, no.
Yeah, I can't see.
Yeah. So the country applied a voluntary quarantine and isolation on 16 March with like closed the sea boards, overland boards, airports, restaurants, no public events. So as we see, they wanted to cut it from the bed, like to stop and to control, so it will not be able to spread. The total cases in the beginning was 37, while all of them are foreign cases from European countries, especially, as you know, Morocco, it's a touristic country, so it's difficult to control. So we provided accommodation and support, especially for homeless people. They are in total risk. So all other trades and are full paid vacancy, except medical staff and soldiers, as we all know. For our economy in Morocco, we had a problem, is that there is some people where they are working day by day. So they are every day new work, and every day they get paid by, like every day they get paid by day. So the government have set a support for them, and they gonna get paid also. We had also set an amount of numbers, working numbers, 24 numbers, like 12 for people in need. So for we had another problem, is that as you know, fake news. We had that, like sharing fake news for people in this situation, it's a total problem. So, but thank God, yes, our Moroccan authorities have set strict rules for people. If anyone have shared any fake news news or any problems, they're gonna be in jail.
Oh,
In
wow,
jail.
okay.
Yeah, it's so serious because once you open that door, you can never stop. Everyone gonna say anything, and there is some people who believe.
Okay.
So instruction of His Majesty King Mohammed VI preferred to give the government in order to immediately create a special fund to manage and comfort the coronavirus epidemic. The government initiated the creation of an observatory account for private measures bearing the name of Fund of Management of the Coronavirus Pandemic, COVID-19. It helped a lot, especially medical fields, because as you all know, our fragile countries are not equipped in our hospitals, especially my video again.
Okay. Oh, wow, thank you.
For young people, as activists,
Right.
in the beginning, we had a huge problem as all countries. People didn't take seriously. So they're still gonna go out without masks. No one wants to wash his hand, like, as they see. But it was our mission as young activists, as positive agent of change. We started to sensitize by using social media. People who had like many followers sharing more like information, especially for people who are sharing fake news. They decided to create an initiative, a medical one, named hello.
Yes, yeah, we're here.
Yeah. So to face this dangerous problem, which are sharing fake news, to get people scared, which has a negative impact in people's health. So as we all know, in this war, our only weapon is our health. So to keep our positive energy and positive talk, and so because of this, but we still have to be aware of this dangerous situation. So Morocco Youth made a medical awareness initiative behind which stand doctors of various specialties, media and producers to raise awareness of people's health with confirmed information. We also created a social workers team in every city to help everyone in need, elders, people who are living alone, to ensure that their needs are being made, like for food, medicaments, human interaction. So in the end, I just want to say that it is one of the humanitarian crises. It's not the first, and it's gonna not be the end. So the future, it's coming. What we are going through now, it's much more than health crisis. It will be economic one. It will be humanitarian one also. So it is our mission to protect our vulnerable people from this virus.
Right.
And please just remember that we all have parents with chronic disease. We have brothers, children with weak immunity. We have elders that we still need their wisdom. And our beloved one, they are beating cancers for years and years, and they are waiting for us to celebrate the last chemotherapy. So please protect them. So nobody is safe until we are all safe. It's only through solidarity we can go through this war.
Right.
So I hope I did a small presentation about my country. So I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for your question.
Okay, thank you, Muna. Thank you so much for that. I have a question for you, Muna. Just so my question is, when you made reference to those sharing fake news and the government threatening to, put them in jail, I just want to know how they intend to follow that up, right? Because most people share fake news via social media, for example, WhatsApp messages or WhatsApp broadcast messages. So how do the authority keep track with those people that share fake news using social media platforms? That's my question to you, which all you would get to answer. in due course. I'm just going to share my own perspective from Nigeria. Nigeria is in West Africa. Like I said earlier, I'm Mary Jane Wedge, a medical doctor, public health practitioner, and the founder of GAMAC Foundation. So I would say that in general, I would just say that in Nigeria, we didn't act proactively. It's something that I noticed that most governments, handled the COVID-19 outbreak. They were all reactive. They didn't put measures in place to even prevent the virus from getting into their countries. So our first case was recorded on the 27th of February. That's last month. That's about a month and a few days from today. And between that time and now, we have recorded over 100 cases. Currently, we have 131 cases with 2 deaths, and 8 of those patients have been discharged. Now, I think that, in retrospect, I mean, there's no point talking about that now, but in retrospect, they could have acted proactively to prevent that from, climbing to at a very exponential rate. In the last 1 week, I can say that on an average, we've had at least 8 to 9 cases on a daily basis. That is confirmed cases. And we all know that these numbers are not correct. There are still patients out there that they haven't been taken accounted for. There are still people that are sick that haven't reported. So, I think that we could have been proactive. But currently, I mean, they shut down our airports and our borders last week. The government also instituted a lockdown for 2 weeks, which commenced yesterday. I'm not sure how people are doing out there, but we're doing that. And in general, I would say that so Nigeria has a population of predominantly young people. And I would really want to commend the young people for taking this virus or the outbreak seriously. Young people, they don't want to die, right? They have their lives to live,
Right.
they're happy. Yeah. So they really they took it seriously, and they're doing the most that they can, personally. And and then also educating other people, to do the same, with the same respiratory hygiene, hand hygiene, and social distancing, and all of that. They've taken to social media, they've taken to community engagement, they've done so many things to improve, the awareness of the disease. But I also think that is not enough. For example, even if you educate the learned people, and then you communicate with them, as Mona said, about risk communication and management, I don't think they've engaged the community well enough. So we have a big rural community spread around the country, and most of these people don't believe. So you tell them, oh, coronavirus. I watched an interview on Al Jazeera last week, and some reporters went to the market and they were asking them, oh, have you heard of coronavirus? And this guy was so serious. He wasn't joking. You think it's a joke if you heard it. No, but coronavirus, he will spread it around the country. So, using social media campaigns and all that, since we can't go to the communities to actually educate them, the government has to find a way to involve community. They have to find a way to deliver community engagement programs that can really educate the local people, the people in the communities and all of that, about the coronavirus, about the ways to prevent it, hand washing, hand hygiene, respiratory etiquette, and things like that. But so far, I would really I really want to commend the young people. So a group of young people came together and started what they call the National Youth Activists Against Coronavirus. It is being led by the Senior Special Advisor to the President on youth and sports, I think. Yeah, that's what he is. And it's some kind of action where young people, like-minded young people, medical and non-medical professionals, come together, and then they decide that they are going to spread the word, do the true community engagement, like I mentioned. So we're going to go through community engagement, go to communities, and educate them about hand hygiene, hand washing, coronavirus, and how it's spread. And also, like Mona mentioned, most Nigerians, they live on a daily income. You know, they are petty traders, they sell little things, so they go out, they sell their products, and that money that they get is what they use for feeding their family and things like that. So the lockdown is not really applicable, or would I say it's not really feasible, because you're thinking, okay, how would these people feed, you know? So the action of the tax force, the youth tax force, like I mentioned, is to through you know, funding from the government, take welfare materials. So we're talking food items, you know, hygiene items and sanitary items to these communities. So, you know, after the community engagement and after the education, you know, you hand them this packages so that they can sustain themselves for the next 2 weeks. So so far I think the youth in Nigeria are doing great, but obviously we can do more. So thank you all. Thank you so much. Please leave your questions in the comment section. I would now like to call our host to, you know, take it from here. Thank you all for listening.
Okay, hello everybody. I'd like to tell about the situation in Russia, but first I'd like to introduce one of our speakers, Lana Bahed from Sudan. She had some technical difficulties joining our conference today, but she finally managed. So I'd like to give a word to her, and then I'll have a few minutes to talk about the situation in Russia. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lana from Sudan.
Hi, Lana.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Hi. So, sorry, I was having some technical problems, but I'm back now. So, Dr. Mary, like what you just mentioned is similar to the situation that is going on in Sudan, especially that people are not really satisfied with the things like locking themselves and things like that. So everyone would like us to go out and do regular things. So the struggle is real here. People are not taking it seriously. So the struggle is real. Yeah. But a group of youth, like we prepare some sanitizers every day, like 2,000 bottles, and then distribute it everywhere and do awareness. So this is something that we're working on, and the government, like they are supporting us, supporting everyone. So
wow, that's brilliant. Thank you. Are you there, Lana?
Yeah, hello.
Okay, great. But can you just tell us more about, you know, the situation? I mean, how many cases do you have? Have you had any deaths? Are people recovering? You know, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, we have like more like 7 cases. We have like 7 cases. It's confirmed by the Minister of Health. But still, like, people are not taking this seriously. It's like, what is this corona? Like, nothing will gonna happen to us. But I think after they reported a new case today, people are like, they are worried about it. And this is our part as youth to do this awareness things.
Okay, all right. So but what is since people are not taking it seriously, what exactly is the government doing about that? Are they trying to educate people or making them understand how serious the disease is?
Yeah, we are educating people about this, that this virus is very serious and they need to take it seriously, because you are not only affecting yourself, but everyone in your environment, especially like everyone around you, even your family. Like when you go out and meet other people, you come back to your house and you affect your family. So it's something that we need to be serious about it. So the simple thing, like just washing your hand, and the most dangerous thing I think is like the greetings, because you know it's a part of the culture how we greet each other. So we try to tell them, do not hug, do not shake, try to keep distance, but for them it's like
I understand it's a struggle for all countries, I guess.
It's a struggle.
And the
It is a
funny part
struggle.
is,
Um,
yeah, it's the funny part is if you did not shake or hug, they would be like, "Do you think I have corona? Why would you do this?" So the struggle is real.
right. Okay. All right. But what? So you just mentioned that the young people are making hand sanitizers and
Yeah.
distributing every day. Does the government? I mean, how do you get funds for that?
We get fund from the government, from some NGOs. We get fund
Right.
from each other. Like everyone just donate what they can
Right. Oh wow.
actually give. Yeah. Yeah.
That's very good. That's very good. So, I mean, is there anything that you think that can be done to curb this spread in your country or in other
I think awareness.
regions?
Awareness is very important at this point. Educating the people that try not to just like shake hands or hug each other. Try to stay at home as much as you can. Even if you need to go out, just let someone, only one person, go out, and someone who's educated, who can wash their hands, who can make sure to keep distance from people. So someone who's educated in the family who can just go out and do this. Because right now I think the most important thing is educating them. And that's what we're working on beside the sanitizer thing.
Right. Nice. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back to thank you so much, Lana, for joining us. I know you had a bit of difficulty with, thank you for joining us. So I'm gonna go back to Ruthie. Some people have questions for you. Could you please address your questions?
Sure. Okay. Actually, I got inspiration from other volunteers, and I would like to add something, and probably that'd be helpful. And the first one is to the question raised by Daniel, right? And he was asking about, except social media, what else can we do to raise people's awareness? And first of all, I'd like to say that in China, we do have very powerful social media, and it's like every day on the news, there's nothing else, just about the coronavirus, just about the epidemic. So just that is enough to scare most of the people, okay? And people are really, really frightened about that. And also we have the lockdowns of all the neighborhoods. So if you go outside and you see there's nobody there, and probably you'll feel it's something happening, right? And it's like the scene is scary with all magazines shut down and just nobody on the street. It is very scary scene. And also in some of the villages, especially because in the city it's very easy to lock down, but in the villages, people like to travel around.
Right.
And we do have a few banners. It's that they're written something like in Chinese, they're everywhere. And it just reminds me of what happened in the Soviet Union, with all those red banners there and just showing that you are not allowed to go out. And I can show you some of the pictures later. Is that we can see that very, very often. Just on every street, you see the red banners saying you should be careful. And we also have the village of official, like the workers in the village, who just hold something that will just make them speak louder, and just every day, and they will repeat, stay at home, and stay at home. It's like a radio, right? And so I think that is already good enough to scare most of the people there. But I would like to say that Chinese people, they are like just the old people, and if you try to convince them how serious that is, and you try to sometimes just say like a little bit too much, but just to frighten them. I mean, there's nothing wrong about saying it's too bad. And what else do I say? Okay, as for the volunteers, we do have a few we do have companies donating all those materials, and we have the government cutting down the tax, because I know a lot of this business are suffering because they're not making any profit during this whole process. So the government is like giving them something to compensate, or they'll cut down those tax from those businesses. And about the fake news that Mona, you have just mentioned, Yeah, we don't have such things as like we track down where does this rumor fake news come from, but we do have the social media, all those papers, newspapers, and they would say, those things are fake, and it's renewing every day. So every day, if you just open this news, and you'll see what's fake and what is not. So we do have some specific agencies, and for us volunteers, we are still working to translate all the things into different languages, so that people from all over the world will know what is true and what is not.
That's brilliant.
Right, and for those medical students, we have the free hotline, and if you have anything that you are not feeling comfortable, you can call the lines. And if you are not at the coronavirus, and people will answer, you can get the medical consultant online, so that just that lightens the burdens of the physical hospitals.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, that is brilliant.
And I do have a question. It's because in China we were told what to do every time when you go out, and come back. We were suggested to wear masks, right, and wash our hands. And apart from that, when I go out, we do have to wear the gloves, like a plastic gloves, and we come back, we just throw them away. It's like just make sure you don't throw your eyes or you don't touch anything with those gloves. And if I just open the door, and I would use hot water to go through the key, so that nobody will touch the key and then get infected. But I see a few weeks ago in the website of WHO, World Health Organization, and they're still saying that if you are healthy, you are not looking after somebody who is sick, you don't have to. Right, and I understand why, because there's very limited resources of masks, and that is even not enough for medical people, for nurses, for doctors. Even for them, that's not enough. So they have to say that you don't have to wear them, so that people won't panic, and just won't get the same resource, or just buy out all of those masks, so that there's nothing to use for those doctors. But I don't know what's the mask situation whether in your country, because I think it's very, very curious, because in China we have 1.4 billion people, and we will be able to support all those masks for 1.4 billion people. And why is like other countries you can get enough supply of the masks?
We don't have, trust me, we are struggling with, even the medical staff is struggling with masks and gloves.
Okay.
We don't have enough. I don't know about other countries, but we really don't have enough. We even like, especially for medical staff, they need special masks. So we really are struggling with. And for the information, especially gloves, for us, we advise people no need to use gloves, because not all people know the right way to remove them. And while remove them,
right, that's true. Right.
And you can touch your hand. And the virus or bacteria lives in gloves more than they live in your hands. Washing hands, it's totally enough for no medical staff. But the thing is that awareness, to raise the awareness for people, some people go to the buy enough and like more than enough quantity of gloves, and we as medical staff, when we go, we don't find enough to work with.
Right.
And for masks also, but for masks, if you are not sick, it's nothing for you. But the only rule, if you want to control this epidemic, is that you have to act with everybody as you are sick, and to act with everybody as they are sick also.
Yes, yes.
I can't shake you, I can't hug you, I can't be so near from you because I am sick. Even if I'm not, just act like you are sick. And others also are sick.
Right. Okay, Ruthie, I just want to make reference to what you said about the face mask. Aside from the fact that they're not enough, there's a chance that people don't know how to use this mask. So they might end up infecting themselves while using the mask. You know, when you put the mask on, you're not supposed to touch it, like
The outside.
because
Right.
the cotton or the fabric that is in front acts as a sieve. You understand? Right, exactly. So, but 1,001 people don't know this. The most people that are wearing the masks don't even know what they're supposed to do. So that therein lies the problem. So probably they didn't even come close or so close to somebody that is sick to have gotten the infection. But they take that mask. By the time they get home and maybe touch their mask and touch their face or touch their eyes, they
Their
have
eyes.
infected themselves. So yeah, exactly. So the reason WHO said if you know you're not sick, don't wear
Okay.
the mask is really, aside from the fact that we don't have enough, is also to prevent people from infecting themselves.
So that is
Yeah.
something that volunteers can do. We can just shoot a video and we can tell people how to correctly wear masks. And I
Yes.
see a lot of those videos in China, and every day when you just look at the news and people tell you how to wear the mask.
Yes, yes.
Ruthie, I have a special
That's a
question for
good
you,
way.
please.
Okay.
As I like talking about fake news, I saw in some news they're talking about some cases now in China, reinfection. Recovered people from this COVID-19 are getting reinfection again. Because as we know, this is a virus, we don't get immunity from it. I mean, we still don't know if we're gonna get immunity from it or no. But is it true that you had some cases from reinfection?
That's true.
So
And
that's
we do have,
that's true. I saw that.
that is true. And we still have people with, that's reported to be fake news in your country.
No,
it's not. It's not. No, she
Okay.
wasn't sure what she's trying to. She's not sure.
Okay, I was surprised. Okay, in China, that's true.
No.
And we do have people who just came back home and after 3 days and they were tested positive again. So they came back to the same hospital and just lay there for another 2 weeks. So there's another rule that's recently put forward. That is that everybody who's been tested positive and after recovery, you still have to be inside your home for quarantine for 2 weeks. Just make sure you won't be infecting a lot more people. But those are very the majority. It's like very few people get the same get test positive again after they recover. And there's like a very even little like proof that they will be infecting other people. You know, it's like you test positive again, but you won't be able to infect other people. That is what I get from Chinese news.
So it's not an active case.
It's, I mean, as from the news here I read, it's not.
Yes,
but
yes, it's not an active case. She's right. It's not an active case. They just tested positive for the virus, but then they're not able to infect. They're no longer infectious, if that's the thing. I mean, obviously, like I said, I mean, if you go through the news or the updates and the research, most of everything that we know is just like recent, maybe a week or 2 or 3 weeks old, and the information is currently and constantly being updated and changed. You know, so currently. The most recent update is that they're positive, but they cannot infect other people.
I hope so, because for it might be so like not a lot of people, but for us, as we know, African countries, the level of hygiene is so low for us. So we might have, if this reinfection like starts for us, it's a total disaster.
It's gonna
right. Okay.
The burden.
All right. Thank you guys so much for your contribution so far. Ruthie, there are 2 more questions in the comment section. Did you see those?
I think I've seen one. Just what else?
Okay. The question about the handling of crime rates in China by Angel, I think, Omalayo Anjorin is asking you, Ruth, please, can you highlight how the government was able to handle crime in Wuhan in a developing country like mine? It's a huge issue.
The crimes?
Yeah. Yes. Did you notice there was any spike in crime rates in China or has there been since
Well,
the outbreak?
I have got the news that because of the quarantine, some of those criminals have no chance to do crimes, and they just went to the police station to stay safe.
Right. Oh wow.
That is what we get from here. And I guess it's everybody's suffering, not only the thieves and criminals. And I believe I didn't see the figures, but I believe it's very low in Wuhan because people they have no chance to do all the things.
Right.
And in China,
Okay.
we're not allowed to have guns. And we do have more police people on the street than ever before to make sure nobody's coming out. And I believe that is also lowering the chance of doing criminals.
Okay. Right.
What else?
Okay. Hang on, I'm just trying to get to it. No.
So I have a question.
Okay, I have
please.
some questions.
So,
Okay.
okay.
Who's your question for?
So how about this? For Rafi, I think that's your name.
Ruthie.
Yes,
Okay.
Ruthie.
Yeah, Ruthie. Yeah, I'm sorry. So how is the
fine.
situation on the street? Like people are allowed to just go out and do things, or there's strict rule or law by the government?
You mean now
Because
or a
this
week
is
ago
like
or a month ago?
yeah now.
Now?
Yeah, now a week ago, yeah.
Before, I mean, there's nothing like you cannot go out after 10 o'clock and 6 o'clock because Chinese people, they don't really hang in the pubs. And right now, you can go to the streets and you can go wherever you want. It's pretty free right now, as long as you wear your masks. Right, and before, actually, we don't have anything to do with the streets. We just to do with the neighborhood and the public places like supermarkets and magazines and stores.
Okay.
In Sudan,
All
you
right.
cannot go out after 8 p.m. But before that, you're allowed to just go out. And people, they just go out, even if it's not really important for them just to go out. Even the students, they sent home, but you can still see them outside.
Well, in China, I believe, I mean, everybody's having really hard time adjusting to this kind of life. And I believe we have some like enforcement measures. It's like only one person is allowed and you really cannot go out. That is something according to the law. And there's nothing you can do about that. And there's really nobody really wandering on the street because if they go out and they see there's nobody there and they'll be scared to come back. And actually, if all those places are shut down, where can you go? And I think there's no reason for them to go out.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Because nothing, I mean, it's not like they're going to see anybody else out there. So I think that makes sense.
I'm sorry. I kept saying magazines, right? That's supposed to be stores. I was speaking Russian. I'm sorry. So that is the stores, the supermarkets. Sorry, that is store. The supermarket in Russian. That's magazine. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's okay. Okay. I'm gonna answer two questions. I see here. The question says, Thank you for sharing with us. How far has Nigeria gone in regards to developing an indigenous diagnostic test, or is that a consideration at all? From Daniel. I can't really say that there's any work being done, considering developing an indigenous test. Nigeria is a developing country, and we don't even have we've not even developed indigenous tests for maybe malaria, which is a major issue here. So there is no talk about that. The only conversation that the government is having with is making sure that there are centers and laboratories where they can conduct the tests with test kits and reagents gotten from other countries. Currently, there are 5 laboratories spread across Nigeria, and I think they're working on developing a 6th one. So yeah, there's no talk about any indigenous test or anything like that. Okay, the second question says, okay, thanks, Dr. Mary Jane. As a medical doctor, what are you doing to help the pandemic in my country? Oh, thank you so much for that question. So like I said before, aside from the fact that I'm a medical doctor, I am a public health specialist. So this is like really in our area. So far, we've been raising awareness on social media, and we're working, like I said, I'm a member of the youth task force on COVID-19 here in Nigeria, and we're working on community engagement where we'll go to the local communities and educate these people about the coronavirus, telling them that it's real, and then educating them about how they wash their hands and, you know, respiratory etiquette and social distancing, and eventually also providing them with welfare packages that would contain food items that will sustain them during, you know, this period of lockdown. So yeah, so far that's what I'm doing. I think that's all. Do we have any more questions? Let me see. Okay, Ruthie, there's a question for you, but this person sent it to me privately. She said,
Okay.
I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but she said that she wants you to comment on the conspiracy theory, saying that it was a whole plan, you know, that the whole virus and everything was released from China and it planned to take over the world or something like that. I want to see the message so I don't cry. So, okay.
I have expected such questions.
Yes. Yes. So the question says, can you speak on the conspiracy theory and how the Chinese take it? Yes, thank you. That's the question.
I asking about my attitude towards the statement that is Chinese virus to the whole world.
Oh no. Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And how is that it's a deliberate action? You know, people are saying that it's deliberate, that it's a plan or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, of course I'm Chinese and I won't say anything bad about that, but I really mean it because I think the whole world has witnessed how much sacrifice China has done to cope with this virus, right? And we believe that it can happen today here in China, and tomorrow there may be something else in America, or probably, God forbid, please, I'm not saying that. And sometime, and probably a week later, there's some kind of new virus in another country as well. So we would kind of call that it's accidentally happened here in China. But the important thing is that we want to call the Chinese virus because it's something, it's like a battle between the humankind, human race, and the nature. So I would like to say that if we don't unite and if we keep blaming each other, and we will only lose quicker.
Right.
So it's like here is in China, and what we have done is to we block Hubei and we block the whole country. And actually for 2 months, the economy in China is almost stopped. There's almost a pause here. So I can say how much sacrifice China's government has made. And just by the way, all those cures of those infected people is like free. Chinese government pays for all those cures in China. So you don't have to pay 1 penny if you get infected, and they will take care of everything. So
wow.
So it's like we have done, can you imagine that 1.4 billion people just stay at home and just sacrificing whatever they can just to make sure we can contain this virus. So I believe it's just something that happened here accidentally, and we have tried our very, very best to make sure it doesn't go to any other countries. And now there's one fact that the things in Italy, the cases in Italy, and probably some cases in America, they were just the same, and they were before that was detected in China, but they were saying it was just a common cold. It was now this new common virus, this new type of virus. So
really?
Probably, right. So there's like a misunderstanding, or the doctors made a mistake, and they say you were just having a cold, but actually it is a new kind of coronavirus. Right. So I think Chinese government is being very honest of whatever is here is happening in China, and probably that is why people started to panic and all those countries started to blame China. But I believe I can say that if this virus is not happening in China at first, but in other countries, I don't think there's any country which can do a better job than here in China. So as you can see, our countries, like there were more than 80,000 people getting infected, and now only 3,000 left. And we have sent medical troops to Italy, to Britain, and we have also given up those materials like masks and costumes for free.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I understand why you gave us this name is because you need to find somebody to blame, right?
To blame.
It's like
well, I didn't give you.
I understand, yes.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean,
I know what you mean.
you need to find somebody to blame. I mean, of course, this is not in your country. It's not started in your country.
I totally agree
yes.
with you. Like, seriously, guys, if this virus didn't start from China, and if China didn't teach us how to deal with it, how are we gonna be? I'm sure we're gonna all die. Let's be serious, because we don't know how to deal with it.
Yes. I mean, China got a head start with, you know, even just being aware, you know, because, you know, there's was it Muna mentioned it, the preparedness for emergencies, regardless of whether it's an infectious disease or whatever. So their preparedness and everything, and then readiness and all that, you know. So being able to, or being the ones to have first experienced it, you know, we got all the data that we have from the, you know, from the cases and the management and how to treat these patients and how to prevent the disease. Everything we have and we're working with mostly we're all gotten from China. So yeah, I think you guys are doing a pretty great job. So thank you. Thank you, Ruthie, on behalf of your people.
Strategy.
Okay.
I want to know, please, if they are in your countries also, like for my country, in every city, they decided that one hospital going to be exactly for the coronavirus. Like if everyone is suspended or reported with coronavirus, it's directly to this hospital. Because if they go to the normal hospital, more people are going to be, because as doctors, we don't know if this patient is with coronavirus in first or no. So we might be in danger also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. We do. And actually in Hubei, in Wuhan
I
City,
would like to support this.
Okay, you speak first.
Yeah, I would like to support this story. Like the last case that just died, it's because like some people are not really honest with their symptoms, with whether they might have the disease or not. Like, especially here in Sudan, they feel like we should not tell you the symptoms so you won't be afraid of us and dealing with us. So the last cases that he just died, he didn't say that he came from the United Emirates. He didn't say that he is suspected of having this disease. And there were like 3 doctors who was handling him. They wasn't really well prepared, like not prepared with enough masks or gloves. So now they are locked up and they are like feeling so bad, like they might have the disease now. So people need to be more honest about it, I think.
Yeah, and what there's one thing that I think worth mentioning is that, do you know we built 2 hospitals in 10 days and 13 days. You know about that, right? Right, and
the whole world knows, Ruby.
The whole world knows.
You know, and not only that, there were 13. 13 is like the stadiums, and it's like very big public places, and we have changed that into hospitals. It's like if you are diagnosed with this new coronavirus, and you will be sent to those public places, and that is already a hospital. We call that Fangcang Hospital because that is temporary, and it is only for those with a light diagnosis. It's like not very serious symptoms. And if you are if you get serious, and you will be transformed to those two hospitals that is specially built. So that is what we do to make sure those people who got infected won't be infecting other people. And so we have some like special place with doctors for the quarantine, right? And there's another thing that I heard is about the transparency, right? Somebody mentioned about that.
Yes.
Okay. I do have to admit that some of those cases can be avoided, because in the beginning we do make a few mistakes, and because of some officials in Hubei province, and everybody knows about that. And even though there was one doctor who said that he was actually the first person, and he informed all those 8 people in that hospitals that we have found a new kind of virus, and those officials said you are spreading fake news, and you have to sign something to make sure it won't say that things again. So that is true, and right, and but just because of him, and all those doctors bought some masks and customs in advance, and those materials just saved lives of a lot of medical people. So we do have made mistakes, but we do have done something right as well. And all those officials and those officials who behaved like a bastard in the first few weeks, and they were, in the end, they were punished, and they were like in public. We know what happened to them.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you all for your contributions and for this very wonderful question. So we're going to give the host. Yeah, she's going to take charge now to talk about the situation in Russia.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Mary Jane. So I think we're moving to the end of our conference, as we're talking for almost 2 hours at the moment. And I want to thank you all for your insightful presentations, because you mentioned so many things that weren't clear to us before. So thank you so much for that. And I'd like to share just a few things about the situation in Russia at the moment. As you all know, it's not as severe as in some countries at the moment, so not like in some European countries or USA or China a few months ago. But at the moment, we are, I'm afraid, in the beginning of this journey, because we are getting more and more people infected at the moment. So now we have 2,337 people infected. And most of them are in Moscow, in the capital of Russia. So since yesterday, we got locked down in our homes. And before that, already many companies got into distance work. And since last week, we started our education in university from home. And actually now we don't have classes in our universities for this week, so that we stayed home. And since today the quarantine is getting more severe, so we are allowed only to go to the closest shop to your house and closest pharmacy, and that's literally it. Only people who have special documents from the government can go to work, so they need to to have them, and it's a difficult process. So we are trying to stop the spreading of the virus, but I can agree with all the speakers that are saying that people are not taking it seriously. Right now I can see 8 people on the street, and they're just walking casually together, maybe with masks. I can't see it from here, but still. But our government is getting ready for the outbreak. So we already have a special medical center in Moscow, which takes care of the infected people. Of course, they are getting the treatment for free, as Ruthie told about China. And new medical centers are built right now in Russia in order to get ready. So actually, the doctors don't tend to take into these special centers people who have just light version of the virus. They recommend these people staying at home and trying to treat themselves at home, so that medical centers were ready for just the severe cases, so that they had the equipment free for that cases. We also have volunteers working and helping. I heard that some of volunteers in your countries were making sanitizers and different things, but we have a big initiative which in Russian is called We Are Together. So it unites big NGOs that provide funding, that provide medical equipment and masks, and just individual volunteers who help the elderly people, like get them food from the supermarket so that they didn't have to go out, or medical help. They also can provide psychological and support to those who can't deal with this pressure. And also something that everyone could do is just video conference to the homes of elderly people who are not allowed to go out. So just share their thoughts, tell about their day, so that just they felt better. And of course, I can agree that this is something that we should deal with together, and we should unite, because none of the countries will be able to take this hit on their own. So I'm very happy that Russia, that Russia sent some airplanes to Italy and most recently to USA with help. And as I know, a lot of help came to China during the outbreak when it was the biggest there. I remember we discussed it with Ruthie. So I think that it's very important that we did care about each other and help as much as we could. And there is no tigers walking on our streets. I think everyone saw these pictures. No tigers. Never tigers. Just bears.
Thank you.
Okay. No bears.
I was gonna ask. That was my question.
So no lions.
No.
So
I mean,
it's
it
not
sounds,
true. No
it
lions
sounds like
on the street.
fake news. Right, it sounds like fake news. But if we say that comes from Russia, then it's probably
not
true.
Well,
I don't know why
not
have this
focused.
stereotype about Russia. I don't understand.
We have a lot of stereotypes, but
no, but I think it wouldn't have been such a terrible idea. Do you see videos of people getting flogged these days? Flogged. Do you see this?
Well,
Because
maybe
they
could prevent
if you
people
don't
from
want to stay
going
at home.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
And also, I want to mention something else. Is that there are some people who have chronic diseases, not only the coronavirus but also cancer and some other who need medical support. And when the city is locked down and there's no one who can deliver medicines for them, because some of them they are at home and they can't have access to all those medical medicines. So I think there's something that medical volunteers can do this, because there's something China has done pretty bad, and we see a lot of complaints on the internet. They were like, who can help me? Who can help me? And there's really nobody can help.
Oh, right. Thank you, Ruthie, for mentioning that. That is very brilliant. Here in Nigeria, I'm not sure. So there's something called telemedicine. So what we're doing now is telecommunication. So we have the telemedicine aspect of those, where you have apps like the Zoom app, where you can, search for a doctor and say, oh, doctor, I'm being managed for this. I need this. So those guys have really been doing a lot of, pushing a lot of promotion and letting people know that, oh, I mean, even if you can't go to the hospital at this time, you can call us and we will come to you. I mean, patients must be seen, but we'll go in there with the normal, precautions and all that. Another thing that should be, of concern, I mean, I don't know where we are all from, but if it's something that we can influence, is also to consider pregnant women. So I am passionate about women's health, adolescents' health, and things like that. And I think that the healthcare system has really ignored these people. And, with pregnancy, it means that the immune system is low. So you can almost consider them as people that are at risk for severe disease if they get infected with COVID-19. And the fact is that we don't even know, exactly, and we don't even know the effect that this virus will have on the children, how whether it will affect their growth or development and things like that. So here in Nigeria, obviously people can't go to the hospital. Some hospitals have said, before you come for your antenatal visit, please send us a message so we can book you an appointment. So what they do is they maybe book maybe 5 or 6 patients every day. And obviously you cannot miss that appointment, And then also the telemedicine is also coming up for patients like that so that they don't even get to the hospital and even get exposed to, the possibility of getting infected. So if we have influence, in our different countries and different areas, I think it's something that we should highlight because I think it's being ignored a lot. Yeah.
So what I want to add for you is that, yes, exactly. People forget that there is other disease who gonna kill you for 100%. Well, if you are with COVID-19, you might die just 3%. So they forgot that there is other chronic disease that need to be treated. Not just because we have coronavirus that we don't have to deal with anything except coronavirus. But I saw some research that for pregnant women, they the virus, it's not a problem, and it's not the child, it's not in risk. It's not transmissible to the child.
Okay.
And for the immunity system, it's not really, the pregnant women are not really in risk. And for, as you say, for Morocco, they as I told you before, we have a specific amount of numbers that a lot of them in every city, like for the government and others for volunteer teams, social workers, that you need, if you need anything, medical help, anything, all what you have to do is just to them.
Right. Okay.
And for Russia, I saw that I am a part of the Association of Volunteer Medic, and they are doing a great job about that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mona. But you see, the issue with this is that the effect of the virus is not totally known. We're in medicine, so you'd say never. We never say never in medicine, because something that 10 years ago they didn't think that people could recover from spinal cord injuries, but here we have people recovering and getting the ability to walk again. So the concern that I have with that, when we say, oh, pregnant women are not a risk, is that we don't know for sure. And you have to understand that as the virus is moving, there are also chances that the virus is mutating, that is, it's changing its form to become more effective and infective and more, causing more damage. So the truth of the matter is that we don't know. So that is the basis of even preventing or avoiding any contact, with pregnant women and putting them and their, babies at risk. Do you understand? I think it's something that we should really consider, because the truth of the matter is it would take at least another 5 or 10 years. Most diseases that we even know, even till now, diseases that were discovered years ago are still being researched. So who is to say that the effect of this disease, I mean, we all know it for now. What's going to happen to this child? It may be a child that is at school. What's going to happen to the child 10 years from now? And, there's also the fact that when the first symptom of, or the most common first symptoms of the infection is loss of sense of smell. What that means is that the virus has I don't want to use medical terms. Basically, the virus has this thing peculiar for nerves. That's nerves that are connected to spinal cords and things like that. So something that would have something peculiar or being able to bind to the nerves to cause that effect, who is to say it's not going to cause something even more drastic in the future? So that's the basis of just avoiding it, not putting people at risk in the first place. Yeah.
I understand. As you say, we never say never in medicine. So,
exactly.
And yes, the virus, there is a lot of mutation going on. So as you say, the first virus in China, it's not the same going now in other countries.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even people are struggling with the vaccine. If we have a difficult DNA, how we can get the same vaccine for everything?
Right.
So
Yes.
it's,
Exactly.
yes, we really have to be aware.
It's a huge challenge. Yeah.
It's a real
Yeah.
challenge, yes.
So
Wow. Thank you all so much.
I'm sorry, I had a question, maybe for the doctors in among our
Okay.
speakers. Do you know
Yeah.
if there were any cases where when pregnant women got the virus, and
Yeah.
what effect did it have? And was everything okay? So we were just discussing children, but it's a very scary question thinking about pregnant women being sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So do you have any insights on that?
In China, there are a few cases that people are born from a mother who got infected, and when this baby is born, then he has it. But there are some like other cases that people don't have that. So I don't know if there's a link between those. But in China, we found both.
Okay.
As doctor already said, it's the struggle we're going through is that it's unknown virus. We don't have enough
Right.
information about it. And the thing is that we can't deal with something we don't have enough information about it.
About, yeah,
This is the
exactly.
problem. You don't
Right.
know how you can deal with it. And especially they say,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, they say that it's not a risk for young people. And many young people are dead in Morocco.
No.
In other countries also, babies, they say
Exactly.
not
Exactly.
Mhm.
Thank you.
they
Yeah.
see children just
So,
take the risk. It's not risk for them, but we lose many children. So we can't understand, and it's so difficult to deal with something we don't know.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what China was facing in the
Mhm.
beginning. We completely
Yeah.
didn't know about the
Right.
idea, and we stopped the virus from a few weeks for the
Exactly.
whole world to know about that. We saved some time for the world.
I don't know what is coming next, but we just hope the best. We are
Yeah.
doing our best.
Right.
And we hope the best.
Yeah. So basically, we're not sure. We don't know. We can't really say. We can just hope for the best, really.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
yes.
it. We are not sure about anything.
But in China, we got things under control after 2 months, so I believe it won't be long. Really, in China, it was
Let's hope for
extremely
that.
serious, and right now everything's back to normal.
We hope that if we control it, as I say, if we
Yeah.
have
Right.
about it in the beginning, the
We
things
can
can
all
get
do that.
better. But
Mhm.
we hope so.
Yeah.
For others country, for my country, for 14 million people, like you need to control them. And as we all say, not all people are understand the dangerous situation we are going through. They might
Scare
be committed
them.
1 week, 2, 3. If you scare them, you're gonna get to. We try to scare them also, but we're gonna get so difficult. When you scare people, it's already a negative impact in their health. It's
Their mental health. Yeah.
You don't. Yes, you know if they are scared, do you mean
And
it?
then we have 2 doctors and one playing each role, so people will say, "Okay, I'll do whatever you say. Yeah, I'll be safe."
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds very brilliant.
But let's say we are going into doctors
Mhm.
and now watching useful videos instead of what you have been going through before.
Right.
Yes.
And as you asked me before,
Yes.
how about Morocco is dealing with people sharing fake news? We have a specific
Mhm.
team dealing with this situation. So if anything is going on WhatsApp, on Facebook, when it's easy to detect people, we had a bloggers, like people like with a huge amount of followers in YouTube who shared a video saying that there is no corona and don't care about this, and he is in jail now where we are speaking. So they are so serious about this, because one video with like millions of followers, you have a huge impact on them, and many people are not so aware, so they might believe you easily. So they are so strict about this, and this is what I love really, because we really need to control this social media. Once you control social media and what's going in, you control all the community. As we know, we are all addicted to phones, to WhatsApp, to Facebook, to Instagram.
Yeah.
So
especially when people are staying at home, there's nothing else to do, and they just stick to their phones.
Yeah, especially grandma and moms and like all elder people. If you say something like I am from family, they don't understand, they don't believe me either. But if someone else says out, or a doctor or something, someone out, okay, they believe.
Okay, so I think Ruthie had a video she wanted to show us. So
right, I just before this conference, I asked a few of my friends who has like common videos to at least help a little bit, and people were saying something in English. So just have a look at it. I'll try to share it. Okay, so can you see the screen?
yes.
Okay.
How's everything going? I'm shooting this video to tell you that everything will be better. I'm sorry to hear that your country is probably going through a very hard time, but you know what? You don't have to worry about that. Think about China. The epicenter is seeing less and less confirmed cases each day, and I believe the same thing will be happening in your country as well. So there's no need for anxiety or panic. What you need to do is stay at home, spend the time with your parents, your family, your kitty and your puppy, and we will weather the storm, okay?
Hi guys, maybe you are all upset about the coronavirus recently, but what I want to say is that we need to be optimistic that the world is one and we can get through this together. And one more thing, please obey this rule. Don't go out, be strong, better days are coming.
Hey guys, as you can see, I've been stuck in my bedroom for about 2 months. I believe most of you have met the same problem. Don't worry too much and enjoy your life.
Hi, as you can see, I am home now just like you. I'm numbing from home because of the epidemic situation. But I am happy and I'm positive because I believe that this small problem will soon be passed away. Now I have plenty of time to enjoy myself. That's a good point.
Hi guys, I'm strongly believe that the situation will be under control. There will be a cure and we will be okay. Be strong. We can win the battle.
I have stayed at home for more than 2 months. During this time, I try to improve myself, like reading, cooking, and doing some handwork. We are always together.
Although we are miles apart, our hearts and you together. I wish you all the best to fight against the coronavirus.
Hey guys, this is Tony from Sichuan. I think we're going through a very hard time. The outbreak of coronavirus has sent the world into panic, but it is definitely not the time for us to give up hope. Thousands of people all over the world are fighting for this. Medical workers, scientists, researchers, and everyone from all walks of life are working together. So here all I want to say is stay healthy, stay calm, and keep faith. And to all of you from different parts of the world, I'm sending my thoughts, best wishes, and loads of love.
Hello friends, nice to meet you. I'm Felicity from China. Some of you may be in a very difficult situation, but please believe me, it is temporary and we will finally achieve a success. For those who are suffering and fighting against the virus, you are the most courageous people and you will definitely overcome the virus. Although little can I do, I will continue to offer my supports and concerns for you. There's an old saying in Chinese that miles apart but close at heart. Keep fighting.
Hello, this is Becky from China. I know what you're going through and how you're feeling, but believe me, everything will be better. So stay strong. Let's fight this together.
Right, so that is basically the video I have made. Hopefully it will help just live up the spirit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the video.
Okay.
It was very inspiring, and I think that's what we needed right now, to know that everything passes and we will be all right.
All right. Thank you, Ruthie. That was such a great video. I really liked it.
Thank you. Glad you like it. There's actually nothing we can
Thank
do,
you.
and if you say something, it's like Chinese people are getting something like remorse, and it's like without you wouldn't have been like that, and people keep blaming us. So I was just trying to say that there are some people who are kind, who want to help, and who are wishing the world will become better someday. So it's like just we cannot blame back. So it's like we are trying our best to offer something warm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm so thankful.
Thank you so much. That was great.
So I think we're coming to an end of our conference. I think that was very insightful, and we knew a lot about the virus and the perspective of different countries. So what I suggest is maybe meeting in 10 days and again in the same format and discussing what results is politics concerning the virus in different countries have, and maybe we will invite some volunteer organizations representatives, and maybe we will be able to discuss the volunteer perspective of the situation. What can volunteers
tomorrow there will
Sorry?
tomorrow there's on the 3rd of April there's one meeting organized. It's especially Chinese volunteers telling the world what volunteers can do to help the world. So I'm just giving something like a forecast. If you are interested, you can come and join and just have a look. It's all about China, what we do.
So how do we join?
I mean, right now we will come up with everything very soon. So probably I'll tell Lada, and Lada will tell you how to join it.
Right. Thank you. That would be great. I would probably have more to tell you guys. Like I said, I'm in the task force, so maybe in another 10 days, we obviously would have done more. So I would have some updates to share with all of you.
Okay, so I hope we will attend the conference from Ruthie, and then maybe we will meet again in order to discuss the results, and maybe by that time the situation in the world will move little by little back to normal.
Little by little, we're praying.
Right, and I read I don't use the WhatsApp very often because in China we have firewall. So it's like if there's any questions or anything that we can help or I can answer the questions, you can say in the group chat, and Lada, please just let me know all the things.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll do that.
All right.
Sure.
Sure, thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I think that's
thank you.
Your presentations
Thank you for having us.
Just something else, and I'm very grateful that you took the time of your day to share your thoughts and experience to everybody. And I'm very excited that you got so many comments and questions from the people watching online, and that you could integrate the questions and answer to them and to people that were interested. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon on another conferences.
Sure. Right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And thank
Thank
you for
you.
everyone, for every information. We are so thankful.
Wish you all the
Thank
best.
you all. All right.
Thank
You too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye to everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Yeah. Yeah.